Hi, I'm Richard Miller, and I want to welcome you to the interview kit setup video. In the next couple of minutes, I'm going to be walking you through the very simple process of setting up the interview kit that you just received in the mail. So sit tight, relax. It's much more simple than you might have thought, and I'm going to walk you through that process. So let's get started. Now, before we actually get into the kit setup process, I want to talk a little bit about environment. Now, if you're going to be doing the interview at your home office or your home, as you can see in this home, we've got high ceilings, which means that you can hear a lot of the room. If I clap my hands, you can hear a lot of the sound of the room itself because it's high ceilings and a lot of empty space. So if you're in a situation like that, our preference would be if you have a secondary environment like a bedroom that maybe has lower ceilings and some, you've got the bedding, you've got things in the walls, closet, things to absorb the sound. If you're comfortable doing it in that environment, maybe putting the kit on the edge of the bed as opposed to the desk, like we're going to show you here in a moment, that would be our preferred place. But again, just do the best you can, and if this is the only environment you've got, that's totally fine. We can work with that. Now that you've received the kit, the first thing to do is open it up. And when you open up, you're going to see a few different devices in here. The first thing you're going to see is this phone. Now, the reason we send a phone is many people have cordless phones in their house. They actually don't have a hard line, an actual physical phone line anymore these days. So we send a regular phone just in case you're one of those people. That way we can make sure that you've don't have any wireless devices interfering with the interview. So that's why this is here. So we'll set that aside for now. Now, the actual kit itself, the recording kit itself, consists of a microphone stand, as you can see here, and two mini disc recorders, as you can see here as well. And we'll pull these out. So as we pull these out, you'll see there's two, one that's a blue one and one that's a yellow one. And we'll just walk this over to the desk. So, very simple process. Once you get everything kind of untangled, set aside here. Tuck these wires back. The most important thing with the kit is two things. The most important two things are as follows. Putting the base in front of you so it actually points to your mouth. Okay? Pointing all those microphones to your mouth is the most important thing, and then you can secure that back into place just like that. And then the other thing is we'll tuck these wires out of the way a little more. You might have notes or something, so we'll get this kind of stuff out of the way. Now the next piece of the puzzle is making sure the actual mini disc recorders themselves work. So the way to do that is very simply, you hit the record button in the middle here, and then you can see that LED jumping up. So we say test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you can see that it's jumping up and down, okay? So we know that's working. And then the other thing is making sure that it says stereo LP2. Stereo LP2. Now once you've done this test and you can see that it's jumping up and down when you talk, and when you're not, it doesn't. And then it says stereo LP2, you're complete. So you just hit stop and you set it down. Let us do its thing here for a minute. And do the same thing with the other one. Test 1, 2, 3, 4. It's rolling. And then we've got the stereo LP2. We're in good shape. So we know that the interview kit is working properly. Set those to the side and until you actually will start the recording process. Now we're going to talk about actually how to conduct the interview with the device. As I said before, the most important thing is to stay consistently in front of the microphone itself, the microphone system itself. So when you sit in one location, when you move back and forth a lot, we'll be able to hear that in the interview. So the important thing is when you're talking, stay in one place, and then when the person who's interviewing you is talking, it's okay to kind of stretch out, move back, adjust, those types of things, because we can edit that. If you're talking, you're moving around, we can't do anything with that in the editing process. The other thing to keep in mind is if you hear anything in the background, if you hear a garbage truck, we just heard a garbage truck a minute ago, we weren't able to get it in the recording, we kind of thought it was funny, or a fire truck or something like that. If you can hear it, the microphone will hear it as well. So it's always okay to say to the person who's interviewing you, could you hold on for a minute, there's a fire truck in the background, or there's a garbage truck in the background. And the person interviewing you will, we'll just pause for a minute until that's complete, because as I said, once it's recorded, we can't do anything about it. The next thing that's important is if you have any windows that are open, make sure they're closed, because those are just kind of magnets for sounds that are going on outside. Make sure to shut off your cell phone. If your cell phone is on, make sure to shut it off, or any other kind of devices in your house that could ring or make kind of extraneous sounds while you're doing the interview. The other thing is notes. If you happen to have printed notes, the important thing to do is, if you have to move them around, stop. Don't talk while you're moving them. So for example, if I need to look at my notes, I might go, and then I can begin to talk again. And then I can begin to talk again. As long as you don't rustle things around while you're talking like this, again, we can't get rid of that sound. So it's important to kind of be conscious as best you can. It's not the end of the world if this stuff happens, but to get the highest quality recording that we can, these are some things to keep in mind. Also, drinking water. Sometimes it's reflexive for people to drink water in the middle of a conversation. Again, kind of weird, kind of awkward. Just when the other person's talking, that's when it's your license to make any kind of sound you want, because we can edit it that way. That's it for the most part. The next piece of the puzzle will be here in just a second. Now that you've completed the interview and you put the kit back together, the last piece of the puzzle is return shipment. So in order to facilitate that, there was a return shipping label that was put here when you first opened the kit. So take that and put it into the return pouch here, and then you'll call FedEx for a return pickup request, and that's it. So thanks for taking the time to watch this video. If you have any additional questions, just hit reply to the person who sent you the link to this video, and they'll be able to answer any questions you have. Good luck.